Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Chrissy Lombardo, and I'm the Director of Student Activities here at Flagler College. Welcome to this all-student meeting. Um, we are very excited to have our new students joining us this semester, and we are hoping for much excitement for the upcoming semester. Today, we'll have a few speakers speaking to you about just different aspects of our campus, things that you might need to know as a new incoming student. And we will go ahead and I will introduce our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Sandra Miles.
Good morning. I'm used to people saying hello back, and it's a Saturday morning, and it's all weird. I'm really excited that you're all here with us, and I hope you're excited to start the spring semester. What I want to talk to you about today is to give you a little bit of an overview of what the Division of Student Affairs entails, which offices are comprised within the Division of Student Affairs, and to also, of course, give you a quick reminder about what it means to be a saint and what are your rights as a saint, but also your responsibilities. So first, I'll tell you a little bit about the Division of Student Affairs. The way I like to explain it is that we comprise everything outside of the classroom to make your experience a positive one. So you can talk to anyone in student affairs about getting involved in student activities, finding some help with your career development, working through any of your campus recreation needs or desires. We also have the counseling center, health services, safety and security. So really everything outside of the classroom to make sure that your experience is a positive one. Also, I want to let you know about the Dean of Students Office, also known as Student Conduct. So when it comes to being a good saint, we do have some of our policies in the student handbook. And so I really do encourage, I know it's a really long book, and forgive my smoke alarm. I promise it's not that I haven't changed my battery. It's just being weird right now. If you have not already looked in your student handbook, then make sure you do, because all of your rights and responsibilities are listed within that document. It tells you about the rules of the campus, but also a lot of the resources of the campus. So definitely make sure you review that document, because we do take your safety and security very seriously. And if you are doing anything that impacts the safety or well-being of another student, then we are definitely going to hold you accountable to that. So when you think of the Division of Student Affairs, think of it as a group of people who are going to challenge you. We're going to challenge you to learn. We're going to challenge you on your behavior, but we're also going to support you in all of your endeavors inside and outside of the classroom. So if you ever have any issues, I know I keep saying we handle everything outside the classroom, but if you do have any concerns or issues that arise in the classroom, you can still come to us and we can help you navigate through either a difficult conversation with a faculty member, or we can, on our end, have a conversation with either the faculty member themselves or a representative of academic affairs to make sure you're having a really good experience. And so that is the main thing I wanted to share about student affairs and your rights and responsibilities. But I will also give a little bit of an overview of Title IX. Our Title IX coordinator and equity investigator, Jess Colbrin, is supposed to be here, but she's also having some technical difficulties. So I'm just going to share a little bit about her office. Within Title IX, if you feel like you have been the victim of any type of sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, or if you just have questions about consent, what it means to live in a safe environment, definitely reach out to Jess. She is going to be a very confidential resource to walk you through any issues you may have. If you just because you go to her, that doesn't mean that you're filing a report. You really can just go to her to ask questions and to get some feedback and resources. But if you do want to file a report, or if you do want to file a report even on behalf of someone else, then definitely go talk to Jess. You will get a module that you'll have to complete online that tells you all about sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, and a lot of information is available through that module. But a lot of us like to speak to, a real life human being. So if you do ever have any questions, you can always reach out to her, and she'll do everything she can to support you through that endeavor. And the second part of her title is Equity Investigator. So, in addition to investigating any allegations of sexual misconduct, she also has the responsibility to investigate any allegations of basically violations of your rights as a citizen. So, if you feel like you're being discriminated against based on race, gender, ability, or you're just having some issues with anyone on campus, you can go to her and she will investigate that allegation. Now, an investigation does not equal that we're going to broadcast all over campus what the outcome of that investigation was, but we will do our due diligence to make sure that we take every report very seriously and investigate it thoroughly. So I think the other part of my area that I haven't mentioned yet is the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. I'm, in addition to being the VP for Student Affairs, I'm also the Chief Diversity Officer. And so I know that Mary Rose Padron is here, and she's going to tell you all about the facets of that office. But I just wanted to say to you one final time, thank you for being here. Welcome, and go Saints.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miles. Next, we will hear from our Diversity and Inclusion Office. As Dr. Miles just mentioned, Mary Rose Pedron is here to tell you a little bit about that area. So thank you and welcome, Mary Rose.
Hello, friends. Thank you all for coming in this morning, and welcome to Flagler College. My name is Mary Rose. I'm the Assistant Director of Diversity and Inclusion. And I just wanted to talk to you about what the Office of Diversity and Inclusion does. Essentially, our mission is to really celebrate everyone on campus, and that means creating an inclusive environment where not only you are celebrated as a person, but what makes you up, your identities, regardless of whether you identify as a certain sexuality or whether you identify with a different political view, or whether you have an identity in differing ethnic values or anything like that. So we really want to celebrate you and make you feel welcome and make you feel that Flagler is your home. So how do we do that? We do that through various ways, such as educational workshops and trainings. We do that through multiple cultural programming throughout the year. And we do that through one-on-one conversations. So if you ever feel like you would like to talk about how you could feel like Flagler is your home, please come see the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. We're also growing as an office, so we hope to grow with you. So if you see an affinity group that you would like to start on campus, for example, we are in talks of starting a Latinx/Hispanic organization, please come talk to me. I would love to help support you and see that your identity is thriving on this campus. And mentioning all the various things that the Office of Diversity and Inclusion does, I just want to bring attention to the upcoming week of Diversity and Inclusion Week. That is January 18th to the 22nd, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of cultural programming, some important educational workshops, and overall some fun giveaways, some raffle opportunities, and we really want to bring the entire Flagler community together through celebrating diversity and inclusion. So I'm going to put in the chat below our Instagram link and follow that for more information. But thank you all for being here and welcome to Flagler College.
Sorry, I thought I was unmuted. So next we're going to hear from our first year experience folks, and that would be Jill Dawson, the Director of First Year Experience and Advising here at Flagler College.
So we had a name change last year. So we're the Center for Advising and Core Experience, and you may hear us referred to as CASE. And I'm really excited to see all of you today. I can see your names, but I can't see your faces. But I'll talk about how you can find us if you would like us to see your lovely smiling faces. Again, we're the Center for Advising and Core Experience. I'm Jill Dawson. I'm the Senior Director of that office. And we oversee not just our first year academic transition to Flagler, but also advising, and we support our course registration process with our registrar, Mrs. Roberson, who our transfer students will hear from again soon. We have a number of staff members in our office. Dr. Sarah Deagle is our Director of Advising, and again, she'll join us for the transfer meeting with Mrs. Roberson soon. Ms. Sarah Upchurch is our advisor for our School of Business Education and Mathematics. Dr. Jennifer Thweet is our advisor for the School of Humanities and Sciences, and Dr. Deagle and I share our students from our School of Creative Arts and Letters. We do serve as the primary academic advisors for our first year students. Transfer students, you will work with Dr. Deagle and I through the end of add drop, and then we will transition you to a faculty advisor in your major. More about that coming soon. But we provide support for all students at Flagler from the time you commit to Flagler until you graduate. So even if we are not your primary advisors or whoever you're assigned to in our office, you can come see us anytime with questions, and I'll circle back to this idea of asking questions and asking for help soon. I just want to highlight a few things on your new student welcome schedule for this weekend related to academics and the academic transition to Flagler. Right after this meeting, as Ms. Stevenson noted in the chat, we'll have a transfer student session. This is an opportunity to talk directly to our new transfer students, give them some specific information that may help them, particularly related to things like credit transition, internships, career development, some things that are maybe a little bit more relevant to their experience. This afternoon, for our first year students in first year seminar only, you will have an academic session. You should have received an email from me with that information. If you have Professor Sarah Upchurch, you will be in person on campus in Keenan 315. If you have myself or Professor Christine Fogarty, you're going to connect with us on Zoom because those are online classes. So check your email, your Flagler email, and your personal email for that information. Tomorrow, you will have a meeting with your advisor in the morning. And again, you should have received an email with that information. Transfer students, depending on whether you're with me or with Dr. Deagle, you may have received information either about drop-ins or about a time to connect. So again, make sure you reference that email for those times and locations. And then tomorrow afternoon, we will have our final kind of official academic kickoff, sending you off into your classes on Monday. And that's with our academic welcome ceremony, where I'll be joined by Dr. Art Vandenhouten, who's the Interim Vice President for Academic Affairs, and Dr. Joseph Joyner, our college president, to provide hopefully some words of inspiration and some good advice. I also just want to remind all of you to please check in on My Flagler if you have not done this already. It's a quick process. You go to My Flagler, my.flagler.edu, log in using your username and password, click that check-in tab at the top, follow the instructions. That lets us know you're here. Even if you're taking classes remotely, we still need you to do that. But it's pretty quick steps, but it's really important that you do that. That's how we confirm that you're here and you're ready to go. And you're going to get a lot of advice this weekend. You've already gotten some excellent advice. You're meeting people from different offices. And so that, in terms of the guidance I will give you as you start your semester is, one, listen to what these folks are saying. I think that the most amazing thing about college is that literally every single person on this campus is paid to help you. And there's really nowhere else you'll be for the rest of your life that, you have an entire institution devoted to your success. And so really take advantage of that. And then the most important thing, I say this to students every semester. I don't know why sometimes it takes them a while to believe us, but please ask for help. If you are struggling, if you are unsure, if you feel like there's something you're supposed to be doing and you don't know how to do it, if you keep hearing about something that you should be doing and you're like, I have no idea what she's talking about, please ask for help. I think sometimes students assume that there are things that they should just know, that they should have absorbed through osmosis, or that if they mess up, if they in some way make a mistake, that they can't or shouldn't ask for help, and that is completely false. I have a sign here on my desk. It says everything is figure outable. I believe this wholeheartedly. If we didn't expect students to make mistakes or not have information, we quite honestly wouldn't have a job. Our entire job is to help you. So please ask for help. That's rule number one. Rule number two, I think, for success is, especially right now during this time of COVID, when many of our offices are operating remotely or not always available for in-person help, is get used to navigating the online world at Flagler. Most importantly, this means checking your Flagler email. I say check it daily, at a minimum, check it every other day. And then begin navigating things like My Flagler, Canvas, Saints Connect, Handshake. If I'm saying words and you have no idea what I'm talking about, refer back to rule number one, ask for help. That might be a great thing to ask your advisor about, or for first year seminar students, your FYS professor can help as well. And then, my last piece of advice is that learning takes place everywhere while you're here at Flagler. So get involved, get engaged, go to your faculty office hours, go to SGA meetings, join a club, start a club, go by and visit offices. All of those things are going to help you grow as a person. Get to know your peers, get to know everyone here on this campus who, again, is devoted to your success. And I really hope that you'll come by and see us in the case office. We have some amazing students who man our front desk, and they can answer questions. They're upper level students. They know the college. They can also help you make an appointment with one of our advisors. Our offices are on the third floor of the library. Please come see us just to say hi. If you're lost, if you have a question, if you're just baffled, if you're struggling in a class, we can help with just about anything. I like to think of my office as a one-stop shop. If you don't know where else to go, please come here. And if I don't have the answer, I will help you find that or get you to the right place. So I will see many of you later today or tomorrow at other meetings. I hope you have just a fantastic weekend, a great first week of classes. I can't tell you enough how excited we are you're here. We love meeting new students, and have a great weekend. And I'll echo Dr. Miles, go Saints.
Thank you so much, Jill. So if whether or not you live on campus or off campus, the Office of Residence Life can definitely help you, or if you're thinking about living on campus in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our Director of Residence Life, Michelle Holland, to speak to you more about that.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome home. I'm going to echo what my wonderful colleagues have said. We are so excited that you're here. Campus isn't campus without students, and we're so grateful that you're joining our Flagler family. As Chrissy had stated, my name is Michelle Holland. I'm the Director of Residence Life, and I oversee everything that goes on within the residence halls. That is our student staff of resident advisors, programming within the hall, roommate assignments, roommate mediations, just a variety of different things. So I also have a team. Amy Chapman is our Assistant Director of Residence Life, and she is based in the Commons building. So if you're an FEC or ABEAR, she is your go-to person. Next up, we have Avery Tyler, who's my Graduate Hall Director. She's around. She'll be on duty some nights. She's really great to talk to, bounce ideas off of, and is also a great resource for roommate mediations. And then throughout the halls, if you are a residential student, you probably met some of the resident advisors and community advisors yesterday. They are your peers. They're there to help with almost anything that's going on. If you have a question and it's 7 o'clock at night, they were able to direct you to where they go. They're there to help with the health and safety, making sure that you are safe within your new home, as well as they love doing programming and community development. Within the next 2 weeks, there's going to be some hall events that are going on. I encourage you to go to them and really get that opportunity to meet the other individuals that are on your hall. If you have programming ideas or community development ideas, go talk to them. They love hearing different things. So I've already said where Amy Chapman is located. My office is in the Student Center on the second floor within the Division of Student Affairs. I work with students mostly that live in Ponce, Lewis, and Cedar, but my door is always open. There's squishy balls in there and sometimes there's candy. And I just have a couple pieces of advice. Become comfortable with being uncomfortable. You're going to have conversations that you never thought that you were going to be able to have, or that you never thought you were going to have. If there's something going on in your residence hall room, then have that conversation. And if you need help on how to have that conversation, let us know. My next big thing is it is okay not to be best friends with your roommate. What we ask is be respectful. If you have a different group of friends than them, that's okay. Go hang out with those individuals. Lastly, we want this to be your home away from home. So please let us know how we can help you make that for you. And again, welcome home and go Saints.
Thank you so much. Now, we understand you all are students here, and so we could not have this meeting without letting you hear from a peer. And so I would like to introduce your SGA president, Spencer Hooker, to speak to you a little bit about the student experience.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Flagler. So I'm excited for this semester. A little bit about what SGA does is we help make the policies, we help put on events. If there's student issues, we try to help find like a solution to everything. And this semester, I would really love to hear from all you guys and just figure out what is it that you want to see from SGA and like how we can better service you. If you're interested in joining an SGA position or being more active on the campus, we have weekly meetings every Tuesday at 9 p.m. in the Virginia room, or you can attend through Zoom. And we have a few events lined up for this semester, so be on the lookout for more SGA events. And if you're interested, please feel free to come through and talk to us. We're more than happy to hear whatever it is that we can do for you.
Thanks so much, Spencer. And lastly, so as I stated at the beginning, my name is Chrissy Lombardo. I'm the Director of Student Activities. So I work with SGA, all of the clubs and organizations on campus, any student events, student-centered or student-driven events on campus as well. And the activities that we have planned for you for Welcome Week, and I'll talk about those a little bit more and kind of give you the rundown. But first off, I wanted to kind of give you an overview. So I'm not sure if many of you have heard of Saints Connect. It is our student engagement and room reservation platform that we use. So any events that are going on campus are located on a big calendar there. So if you are looking for what's going on campus, I encourage you to look at saintsconnect.flagler.edu. You would log in with your student email and password, and there you can join clubs or just see what events are going on. You can register for events. That is something that we are requiring to attend because we have limited space at a lot of our events due to COVID restrictions. So I would encourage you to check that out. If you do, all of our Welcome Week events are located there under the main event, Welcome Week Spring 2021. And all of the events are listed there. So I will just give a quick overview of those events. Tonight we have trolley rides at 9 p.m. Please pre-register for that as it's limited space. That we will meet out front of the Ringhaver Student Center. So that is always a great time, and it's so fun to be able to see the city that you're living in. And it's beautiful at night with all of the lights going on right now too. Tomorrow there will be a grab and go craft in the Student Center, so you can pick up a craft kit to take and make in your room or at home. And that is at 3 p.m. And then Monday, we will have a little grab bag, welcome back to school supplies for you to start your year off right from 11 to 2 out in the Lewis Memorial Gazebo in the middle of the West Lawn. So come see us there. And then Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on Zoom, we'll have a club night where you can come and meet some of our club representatives, hear a little bit about the organizations that we have here on our campus, and be able to find things that you're interested, or if you don't hear of something that we already have, my office is how you can create that club, as Jill mentioned earlier. So you can always come and see me or ask me any questions about how to create a club here on our campus. Then on Wednesday, we'll have a movie out on our Markland lawn behind the Student Center at 7 p.m. And then Thursday evening, we'll have a virtual bingo night via Zoom. So be sure to check out all of those events. The links to the virtual events are located on those events in Saints Connect. So please be sure to check that out. If you all have any questions, feel free to email us at studentactivities@flagler.edu, or my office is located on the second floor of the Student Center in the Division of Student Affairs suite, and my door is always open. And with that, I am going to hand it over to Dr. Miles one last time for you. And so thank you very much. And here is Dr. Miles.
Hi, everyone. So I'm here to close you out, but I have two more little notes to add at the closing. So one, we are really excited to have you here, as we've all said, but we do have to, we can't pretend like there's not a pandemic happening. And we do want to make sure that you're very clear that we take our COVID-19 policies very seriously. So you should be wearing a mask anytime you're on campus, indoors or outdoors, unless you're in your own private room. So there will be signs all over campus saying wear your mask. There will be people around campus reminding you to wear your mask. We do give grace. We will give you a reminder the first time. But if you are belligerent back to us, or if you are, adamant that you're not going to wear a mask, well, that is a campus policy, and we will handle that response accordingly. And so we don't want to get into, a back and forth with anyone about your safety. So just make sure that when you are on campus, you're complying with all of the policies. And if you're aware of someone who is not complying with policies and we don't see it, then feel free to report that person to us. You can do it anonymously through an anonymous link that we have available. It should have gone out in an email that you would have received yesterday. Or you can just come to any one of us and let us know. We do need names, though, particularly when you submit an anonymous report. If we don't have a name, then there's no one for us to follow up with. So I did want to make sure I made that very clear, that we are, the pandemic is still going, and our policies remain the same, and we are very diligent. Last semester, we were very proud of ourselves that we didn't have a single case traced back to our campus. And the reason for that is because we have been so strict, and we will continue to be strict, because in addition to keeping you safe, we also have to keep our faculty and staff safe as well. So the last thing that I'll add is that in terms of social media, so all of you have probably been added to a class of, insert class page where you can meet people in your graduating class or, those who have, since this is a spring session, those who have already been here. It's really important to understand that the class of page is a place for you to get to know, meet, and have, conversations with your peers. It is not the place to find out what's going on in terms of rules and policies on campus. So if you're in the class up page and you're like, I don't know where to get my, where to turn in my form, there's probably a page on our website that answers that question. So you can ask those questions on the class of page, but I want to encourage all of you to start with the website. It works like a Google page. Just go to the search bar, type in the keyword that you're looking for, and I'm willing to bet that there is probably the exact answer you're looking for already on the website. If the answer is not there, then there should be the name of a staff person that you can contact to get more information. You can also always email any of the people who you've seen today, but honestly, starting with the website is going to take you a lot farther than just airing grievances or asking questions about things that are happening on campus through the class of page. You probably will get an answer if you put the question on the class of page, but you'll also get like 6 pages of commentary that are just like, yeah, I agree with you, or yeah, that's dumb, as opposed to getting you the actual answer to the question that you have. So I just wanted to put that out there to make sure that you're using your time and resources effectively so that you can have a positive experience while you're here at Flagler. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. This concludes this portion of the session. If you're a transfer student, please stay on because the transfer session will start now. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Sarah Deagle, and she will begin the transfer session. Have a great day.
All right, well, good morning. I know it's early. I have my coffee here with me. Hopefully you do too. This is going to be information for transfer students. So if you're a first year student, you can go ahead and head on to your next activity. But transfer students, you're going to hear from a couple of us today. You'll hear from Jill Dawson again, kind of more in detail to what she alluded to during the first part that she spoke about. And you'll hear from Tara Stevenson about career development, and Ms. Mimi Roberson regarding some registrar information, because I know as a transfer student, a lot of your questions will regard what credits transferred, how did they transfer, why did they transfer that way. So if we are ready, I can pass it over to Mimi or Tara, whoever's ready. I can't see you guys, so it's kind of weird.
Okay. I don't know, whoever, Tara, whoever wants to go first. Is Tara next? Tara, I'll follow Tara.
So if Ms. Stevenson's ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning. Maybe what we could do is all of us as panelists and speakers can just turn our cameras on so then you can see all of us at the same time, because I'm sure we're going to be bouncing things back and forth with one another since we all work so closely together. But my name is Tara Stevenson. I serve as the Dean of Student Engagement and Career Development here at Flagler College. I get to work with the Student Activities team, Campus Recreation team, and the Career Development Center team. And we love the opportunity to attend the transfer meeting because you all as transfer students are further along within your education. So that means that graduation is a bit sooner for you all, and thinking about what decisions for your education are going to be best right now as it pertains to your plans for after Flagler. The Career Development Center, we can kind of explain it as the professional development office on campus. My favorite way to explain us is that we help you figure out what you want to do with your life. And that could mean that we're looking at part-time jobs while you're here at school, or internships and opportunities to expand those skill sets that you hope to put into place for after Flagler. And whether that be that you're looking at graduate school, looking at full-time employment, postgraduate internships, we are here to help you kind of along that way and mapping out that plan for success. Our office is divided into two different areas. The first is we offer one-on-one services. We are fortunate during this time that whether you are comfortable with an in-person appointment, phone appointment, or a virtual appointment, that we are available for you for all of those three. We can look over your resume. We can practice interviewing, how to search for internships or search for jobs. Or if you are coming in and you're thinking, I'd like to add another major or minor, what does that look like for my career path? We can have that discussion and then refer you on to our case office of what that process actually looks like for classes. The second area of our office is that we are providing different opportunities for you to meet with people within various industries. Now, obviously during our COVID world, that looks very different, but one thing that I do love to stress is anything that we offer or that you may have seen in the past, we're still offering it, it's just in a different format. So we are still continuing to bring various representatives from graduate schools to meet with you. It's just virtually. We are still doing professional development workshops. They're just now live through different social media channels or other avenues that we invite you to participate in. We are still hosting our Career Expo once a semester, but it is in the virtual world. I am excited that we already have 33 organizations that want to work with our Flagler students and connect with you either for internships, summer experiences, graduate programs, or full-time employment. And we invite students, whether this is your first semester and you're starting off in your first year with an education, or whether you are a second-year student, third-year student, fourth-year student, to participate in any of these, because the idea is that you get to connect with these individuals in a laid-back manner to figure out what they did and if that's going to play into what you do. So I'd like to welcome you all here. I'm excited to have you. You've probably seen some different communications coming from the case office as well as from the orientation office. I'm one of the faces behind that. And so if you do have any other questions regarding your orientation to Flagler or what this welcome week looks like, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. But thank you for having me. Thank you for waking up this morning. And we look forward to seeing you around campus.
All right, thank you, Ms. Stevenson. I guess we'll have Ms. Roberson up next to talk about the information I know as a transfer you're dying to hear about. It is very important. I know Jill and I have talked to all of you extensively about these are the credits we have, this is what we're seeing, but there's always more of the why that we are unable to answer. And Ms. Roberson in the registrar's office is able to offer a little bit more to the why things turned in the way they did. So Ms. Roberson.
Thank you, Dr. Deagle. Thank you. Again, I'm Mimi Robertson. I'm the college registrar, and we are located, for those of you on campus, on the second floor of Ringhaver Student Center. We are on the opposite end of the second floor from our Student Affairs office, and we are open 8 o'clock, every day. So we are here for those on campus. If you are an online student, we are available through registrar@flagler.edu. So please, reach out to us how we can help you. Again, we have a responsibility from our office is that we have evaluated your transcript. And we are up to date with those transcript evaluations for everything that we have received through yesterday afternoon. We also work with admissions closely. So I know you've just gone through admissions and they have reached out to us how credits would transfer. And we also collaborate and work with them too to make sure that your transcript has been evaluated in accordance to our transfer policies. So if you have any questions about that, reach out to us again by email or stop in if you're here. And we will certainly discuss why we evaluated it that way, but you can certainly appeal an evaluation too. We can explain that. If you have received your AA, that would say, as I'm sure you've heard from everyone, you have completed your general education requirements. If you have an AS or an AAS, or that's correct, it's AAS, or another degree, that would not say you've satisfied Gen Ed from a community college or junior college. If you're coming to us from another institution and you have earned a BA or a BS, yes, we can work with you and say that you have satisfied your gen ed. So that's just, again, we have awarded credit for IB, CLEP, AP, Caribbean. I'm probably missing something, ACE, but the process or how we define, how we evaluate it is listed in the online catalog. And you will hear this from other folks too. In my office and in our office, we keep the catalog up all the time. So please refer back to that. You can also come in, but your first source, you could certainly look at the catalog. If you have received VA benefits, at one time those were through the registrar's office, and we may have been working with you before the transition took place to financial aid. So if you are a recipient of VA benefits or have questions about that, please reach out to the Office of Financial Aid. And Mrs. Terry Hall is the school certifying official for financial aid. And if you're on campus, they're located in Hankey Hall, but you can also reach her at vasstudent@flagler.edu, and she will be available to assist you. We are the office, as other registrar's offices are, that can assist you with verification of your enrollment, and also if you need transcripts or a copy of your schedule that could be certified in case you're a scholarship recipient, or if you need that for your health insurance or automobile insurance, we would be the office you would reach out to for that too. So again, if you have that or require that, please let us know. I'll just tell you a little bit about how, when we transfer credits come in, we accept the credits. If they are on an official transcript, again, we take those both by mail or hard copy, and also we accept them electronically. So if it's an official transcript, the course is not considered remedial or developmental. And if you have earned a C or a better grade than a C. So those are the three really primary rules that we first look at to accept credit. If you have received a course that was a pass, and if at your previous institution that was equivalent to a C, and you have not received that credit, please come by and let us look at that. Let me review it, or one of the assistant registrars here in the office. So keep that in mind. If you've received a pass grade and the transcript reflects that it is equivalent to a C or a 2.0, we can revisit that to see if we can award the credit. I am probably leaving something out, but I will be here for questions afterwards. And again, as Sarah, as Dr. Deagle and Dean Stevenson, and I know Ms. Dawson have said, we all collaborate or work together. We're all here to make sure that this is a good fit for you, and we're glad that you've chosen Flagler. We want to make it a good fit, and we want to do whatever we can to accommodate you. So I'll just take some questions and Dr. Deagle afterwards. I hope I hit on what you wanted me to at this time.
I think we got everything.
But I'll be here.
So. I know, usually doing this in person, it's just so much better, but we work with what we have. So I'm going to go into the advising portion, kind of following on Ms. Roberson's information about transfer credits. And we work very closely in the case office with the registrar, just to make sure everything is where it should be. Because sometimes you'll meet with an advisor and ask questions, and we'll be like, well, actually, let's send this in an email, or if you should go, if you're on campus, visit with the registrar to get things cleared up. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing they say is no, but at least you ask. And it's also, you want to make sure you take care of some things and not have any surprises when you get to graduation, because as a transfer student, you are staring at graduation a little bit closer than some of our first years are. So it's important to take care of things right away, because after a semester or two, if you forgot to send that final transcript that said you had an AA, you're going to be having an email telling you that you need to take general education at graduation. So you want to make sure if anything is outstanding to get it taken care of earlier rather than later. And that's where the advising office and the registrar's office can come in to help. So I have a little bit of a PowerPoint I usually show, but I'm just going to run down it with my notes. I know Jill and I have spoken to pretty much most of you, unless you just deposited in the last day or so. We've been in constant communication. You've heard this up and down, but a little reminder never hurts, because if we did your schedule in October, it's going to be a little different now that we're in January. Things change, ideas change. So just a couple things that the Center for Advising and Core Experience takes care of, primarily through me. If you want to send an email, even if I'm not your advisor, or you can contact Jill. While we process all change of major and minor requests, I know many of you discussed doing a second major, declaring a minor, and I was like, hold on. Now that you are a student and you're on campus, we can start adding those to your transcript. So if you need a change of major, just ask one of us to send you the link and you can fill out the form remotely, comes to me. I do get a little backlogged at the start of the semester, so I won't probably have it entered the day you submit it, but I will have it updated probably before the end of ad drop, around that time. So hopefully, if all goes well, you'll get a confirmation email from me saying, yes, it's been entered, but just do be patient, because it does, I do get a lot of them from new students and returning students. So that's a change of major, minor. If you aren't sure if you want to declare a minor yet, but you want to try something on, you can take the intro classes and kind of get a feel for, like, is this something that I want to pursue? But usually, as long as you have it declared by the time you graduate, when they go to do your graduation review, that's always a good thing that it's on there. And if you end up finishing classes for a minor, also make sure you declare it so you get credit. The registrar's office will not recognize that, hey, you finished a marketing minor and declare it for you. You have to do that on your own. So definitely, if you're thinking about some changes, let us know, because a major change could actually impact your schedule. So we did your schedules based on the major that was on your application when you applied. If that is incorrect and we made you a business schedule and you're actually environmental science, we need to fix that. So do let us know if there's any changes that need to be made there. Jill kind of touched on earlier about the faculty advisor. We have you initially to get you started through the enrollment process, and kind of a easy contact, so you don't have to find a faculty member you've never met or anything like that. But after I drop, we do transition you over to a faculty advisor within your major. So again, having that major updated is very important, because when I go to do that assignment, I'm looking at, we have you as a business major, I'm going to give you a business advisor. So that transition usually happens probably after I drop, whenever I can get them entered again. But you will have an email confirming that. And the faculty advisors are really fantastic in that they know their majors, they know their programs up and down. Like Jill and I do have our specialties, but we don't know, if you're asking us about like a law internship, I'm going to be like, go talk to Jill. She does know about that. But if you ask Jill about like an art internship, she's going to be like, go talk to Sarah. She knows about that. So always, the faculty advisors are fantastic because they know their fields. So when it comes down to the nitty gritty career research type prospects, they'll definitely connect you with career development. But if you're interested in just something specific, that, becoming a CPA, we have a professor in accounting who's a CPA and can tell you exactly how to get certified for that. So the faculty advisors are fantastic to help you on those questions that you have closer to graduation. Of course, Jill and I are still available for those little technical questions of what should I be taking? What does it look like if I add a minor? Like those type of things. We're always, if you have a quick question and want to send us an email, you are still welcome to, even if we are not assigned to you for advising. So we kind of have keep that relationship going. I do talk to people through graduation, and it's really cool to see you from like day one onto you walking across the stage. That's always probably a favorite part of my job. Being able to be with you through that process. But the faculty advisors are fantastic to fill in those gaps where we just don't have the knowledge, because that's not our area of expertise necessarily. Making appointments with us is going to be super important this semester. Typically in a normal time, we would have walk-ins, open door policy. Right now, we are very limited to our appointments. Mostly, I know for me personally, and Jill could tell you what she's doing, but I'm kind of breaking up my day with clusters of in-person appointments if you do want to meet, but I do have limited in-person appointments. So they're kind of a first come, first serve, save your spot, and I will gladly meet with you. Zoom is fantastic way to reach us. I am on Zoom like whenever. If you need me, I can be on my phone. Usually doing those in the afternoons, kind of clustering those together again. And email is always fantastic. Sending an email is not a bad plan. If you have a quick question that needs an answer, just send an email. We're always one way or the other. If we need to actually arrange a Zoom meeting or an in-person meeting, we can do it from there. You can make appointments on Handshake. I think everyone got into the Handshake system, I think, right, Tara? I think everyone's uploaded. So you probably got an email to your Flagler account from this weird thing called Handshake. It's a really cool program that we share with career development, and it's a career development platform. So if you see things about jobs, don't be scared. You can make appointments through it. And we just use the appointment feature along with career development. So hopefully you're in there too for career reasons, but while you're there, you can also make advising appointments. And that helps us, it goes straight to our calendars, helps block off time. And that way we know that you're coming. If you show up on a day that maybe we're not in the office and it's really difficult to just do walk-ins this semester. So hopefully in the near future, we would love to have you just like come up and, be able to walk in and have an appointment. But for right now, give us a little notice and we can make things work out. So for scheduling, I know we've been talking about this a lot, we're still making changes. I know I spoke to a bunch of you yesterday. I feel like I was on like kind of roulette here, just back and forth with everyone. But I know we will have to make some changes still as you had a final transcript maybe sent in from the fall semester. I know if we did your schedule in October, there might be a class on there and you're like, hey, actually I took macroeconomics or microeconomics. We can continue to make adjustments to your schedule through June 19th. I believe it's Tuesday after MLK Day. You can make changes to your schedule without penalty at that point. So if we have you registered for a course that you have received transfer credit for, let us know. I know Joe and I try to look at the schedules closely, but I know Ms. Roberson's over there still entering information as they get it. So sometimes we'll look at your transcript and then the registrar enters a transfer credit and we miss it. So it's kind of up to you to watch your transcript on My Flagler and just let us know, or if you took a class and you're like, hey, well, why am I registered for this? We can go look at it and be like, oh, hey, you got credit, cool. And then we'll change you out. We don't want you retaking classes that you have already earned credit for. There's no reason to do that. So just let us know if we need to make changes. We can do it without penalty all through next week. If you're in a class and we drop it, there's no implications. It's not withdrawing with a W or anything like that. So after the 19th, withdrawal will go in as a W. So that point, it means it shows on your transcript as an attempt, but it does not affect your GPA. So if we need to make changes, let's try to do it this week. Again, emails, appointments. I know I'm booked out already on Monday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we will make something work out. So some academic resources that you will want to take advantage of while on campus. Faculty office hours, probably going to be mostly remote, but connect with your faculty to see what they're doing. Again, everyone is kind of holding their own on campus, off campus type of office hours. So most of them should be available via Zoom. Some might be doing in-person meetings, but just contact your faculty or look at the syllabi to see what your faculty are doing. That way you can kind of connect with them, always email ahead as well. If you're in online classes, I heard this a lot last semester. Don't feel like you're bothering your faculty if you email them. They are online, they kind of expect to be emailed. So if you're sending a message, of course, they will reply, they're not gonna be bothered. If you email them at 1 a.m., they might not reply right away. Sometimes the art department will, they're kind of guilty of being night owls, but your faculty expect to communicate with you if you're online because you're not physically in a classroom. So don't hesitate to reach out if there's a question or something that needs to be clarified. Because we know with online classes, it's really weird, like even doing this setup where I'm just kind of staring at a screen. So engage with your faculty, they are there to help you. The case office, talked about Handshake, but we are on the 3rd floor of the library if you happen to catch one of us in our office. You can always knock on the door. We're kind of keeping our doors closed, but if you knock and you see our light on, you can say hi. We'll open the door for you. Just make sure that you have your mask while we're in the building. But 3rd floor of the library, you can go up there, look around. We are kind of adjacent to tech services. If you're up there, there are some classrooms up there, but we are around virtually or in person. The Disability Resource Center, if you had any kind of accommodation at your other school, or if you had maybe an IEP in high school, you might qualify for accommodations. Phil Pawnall in the DRC is really great at getting you connected with any of those if you need them. He does require documentation, but if you need further information, we can send you his email and connect you with him. He's actually on the second floor of the library, but kind of behind some bookcases. But again, he's also available via email, and the DRC is there for you from day one until your finals of your senior year. So if you had previous accommodation and you feel like you don't want to register for them now, you can do it later. There's no expiry date to where you can't have these anymore. So of course you can always connect with his office later on if needed. The Learning Resource Center is going to, I think they're still doing all virtual appointments this semester, but they are really great with the Writing Center. I know some of you have math classes still to finish up. They do some math tutoring. A lot of you are in the English classes. They are fantastic to connect with to review your paper, or if you're having trouble in math, they can assist you with that. They also have tutoring for different subjects like language, accounting, different things like that. So really great resource. They are still available virtually. I'm not sure if they're doing in-person appointments on campus, but definitely virtually. And Proctor Library is always open for business. That's where we're located on the 3rd floor. But again, great place for studying. If you need computer access, they are still fully functioning. Everything is socially distanced. Bring your mask. But the librarians are great. If you have a research project, they can connect you with your resources that you need. We have a lot of awesome just digital archives, things like that, that if you're doing a psychology paper, they can connect you with some articles, different things like that. So you could walk in anytime. Make sure to have your ID. Also, if you're visiting us on our 3rd floor, I think all the buildings are going to be ID swipe-ins this semester. So if you haven't gotten your ID, make sure to do that so you can actually get into the library. And yeah, it's a great little place to visit and kind of work on your online classes if you have them. So campus technology, if you haven't already been digging around your Flagler email, My Flagler, you will want to. My Flagler is kind of the HQ of classes where you can add and drop and see your schedule. That's also where you need to check in. So if you have not checked in, go ahead and do that, because your schedule will be disappearing from My Flagler and Canvas until you check in. So once you check in, it does take a little bit to come back. So I would not wait until Monday morning to do this when you're going to class. Takes a little bit. I've heard it's supposed to be an hour, but I've heard some folks say it takes a little bit longer. So kind of plan for that. Maybe today when you log off here, go ahead and check in, fill out your emergency contact information, and then your information will reappear. Flagler email, you will now want to get into the habit of checking your Flagler email. I know we've been communicating with you with your personal email addresses as that got set up. Now that you are officially on campus and a student, we will not as readily respond to your personal email address, because we want you using your campus email address when we talk about specifics, because we know that's going to you as a recipient. Sometimes if you're accidentally on your phone and you send it from your personal, I'll reply and say, hey, you want to send that? Or I'm replying to your Flagler account. That's just kind of a security measure to make sure we're not just emailing everybody your business. So Flagler email, you can put it on your phone, check it regular. Definitely maybe check a little bit more than you normally would right now, since that's how we're all communicating. There's a lot of just information coming your way in the next little bit as we assign you an advisor, or if we change your major, that's where I'll send your confirmation. So just get in the habit, check it daily, check it twice a day, put it on your phone, the best way to have it. Handshake I talked about, and then Canvas. That is going to be kind of headquarters for where all of your classes are. Again, if you have not checked in, they will not appear. Sometimes even after you check in, if a class isn't showing up correctly, it's very possible your professor has not published the course. This is very common. They forget to push the button, or they're still building their courses this weekend. So that's also very possible. But by Monday, if you don't have your classes showing, or if something's missing, or it's just looking weird, let us know. We can kind of look into it. It might be a tech thing, but as long as you've checked in, it should be good to go. There's an app for it. You can turn on your notifications. If you're in an online class, I highly recommend having your notifications on, because with the online classes, professors can post announcements, they can post discussion boards, and you want to be notified if your professor is posting an announcement. You don't want to kind of just be like, yeah, it didn't happen. Because if you have 5 classes and there's a lot of movement going on, especially if you have multiple online classes, you don't want to miss something. And sometimes Canvas, depending on the professor, it can be a little bit more clunky to navigate. So getting those notifications is a good way to make sure that you're not missing important information. So I think that's most of it, but we do have a couple other technology platforms that I think I will let Jill talk about, the Saints Connect, because I don't know much about that, but that also ties into our co-curricular requirements that she can give you some more info on. So Jill.
Hi again, everyone. So for transfer students, I know that tomorrow you received an email from me with information about an advising meeting. I would definitely encourage you to join that. We'll go over some information in detail. It's also a time when you can ask some questions. I'm also available for drop-in appointments, or if you want to connect one-on-one tomorrow or Monday. Kind of like Dr. Deagle, my schedule is a little bit full because we're also meeting with some returning students. So after our advising session tomorrow, tomorrow morning, I think it's 10:15, if you still have questions, please let me know and I'll arrange a time. Either we can work over email, we can connect on Zoom, or I can help you schedule a time to come by my office. I just wanted to note a few things, and some of this we'll go over in more detail in my session. And then I think Dr. Deagle is going to have either drop-in appointments, or you can connect with her if you have questions as well. If you log into my Flagler, so that's a really important site where you can go to view your schedule. That under the Flagler Academics tab is where you can see your schedule. It's also where you can access the registrar office forms, links. They're all incredibly important, and where you can view your unofficial transcript and your advising worksheet. So my Flagler is going to be pretty important for you at the start of the semester. On your course schedule, you can see your days, times, classroom locations. There is a campus map on our website. So as Dr. Miles mentioned earlier, our website is a great place to look for. And if you're unsure where something is, don't hesitate to stop someone, come by the library, send us an email. It's not unusual for people to be finding their way on the first day. Also on my Flagler, after you log in, if you look on the left-hand side of the page, there's something that says Quick Links. You can access Canvas on there. You can connect to Saints Connect, your Flagler email. You can submit a maintenance request. There's all kinds of stuff on there that you can find pretty easily. And then Ms. Stevenson shared a link that I accidentally sent to our panelists instead of all of you. And that's the hub. And if you go to flagler.edu/the hub, I would bookmark that and my Flagler and Canvas, and you're going to have resources out your ears that you can access. The hub has answers to frequently asked questions, including links to our COVID site where you can find answers to questions about our protocols, status on campus, all of those kinds of things. And then answers to frequently asked questions, as well as campus contacts. So if you're like, what time is the library open? How do I email the Career Development Center? Where is the registrar open? You can find all of that information there. I know that as transfer students, you've been in college, you know how, in many ways, how to navigate the system a little better than sometimes our first year students, but please still ask for help. We don't assume that just because you're a transfer student, you know how to do everything, and Flagler is different from your previous institution. The other thing, just a couple of kind of housekeeping things. I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to say it at every meeting I'm at until we're done, is please check in on my Flagler. This is so important. For those of you, and this is most of our students, if you're receiving financial aid and you're waiting on a refund, we can't process those refunds until we know who's here. And so this helps us get that head count really quickly. Please, please, please make sure you check in on my Flagler. You will also not be able to access your courses on Canvas until you do that. In addition, after you check in, once you have access restored to Canvas, If your faculty have not yet published their courses, and I'm going to bet that a lot of courses are not published. I know mine is not. Still working on that. Actually got it open right now. That you will need to wait for your professor to publish it. So don't panic if you log into Canvas, you've checked in, it's been more than an hour and you still can't see all your classes. If it's on your schedule, you're fine. And then I know that many of my advisees are waitlisted for courses, and you may still be waiting on those. Our wait list will stay open until close to the end of ad drop. Mrs. Roberson, do you know when we're closing out the wait list?
We traditionally do it. I know we have a holiday in this, so the wait list, we're planning to close them, I believe, of Thursday. I'll have to look, Thursday of this week. So I've got to look at the date of that, but that's when the wait list will be, waitlisted courses would be taken off the student's schedule.
So if you are waitlisted for
Enough time to find another class. And I think
if you're waitlisted for a course, check your Flagler email every day. If a seat opens up, you'll get your notification there. You'll have 24 hours to add it. If you have any problems adding it, forward that email to Dr. Deagle or I, and we can help you with that. And if we get to Thursday and maybe a course that you're waitlisted for hasn't worked out, and if that means that you don't have 15 credits or you need to add a backup class, please contact Dr. Deagle and I. It's very normal during these next few days for our students to all be adjusting their schedules. And so I will say if you are first or second on the wait list for a class, I would not be surprised if you're not able to get into it this week, just as many students are adjusting their schedules. With our in-person classes, please do not email, and this is true for online too, please do not email the professor and ask them to add you. We have very hard course caps. Our classrooms can only hold so many people. Faculty cannot just wave you into their class. If you really need something, if you need a class, you have to have it for some reason, please contact us. We'll help you. We will reach out to the department chairs, the deans, the registrar, whoever we need to make sure that you have a full course schedule of classes you need. This is just one of the COVID realities we're in. And after ad drop, I know that many transfer students, you want to know, what do the next few years look like? So after ad drop is over and you're kind of settled in, we would certainly welcome you coming by. We can look at your credits. We can make sure your major and minor are appropriately declared. We can give you a sense of your timeline to graduation. All of those things are services that our office can provide for you. And when you get that notification from our office about your new faculty advisor, that will come after the end of ad drop. So probably a week or so from Thursday or Friday. So probably end of next week, not end of this week, you'll get an email from our office with that information. I would encourage you to reach out to your new advisor, say hello, ask about their office hours, drop by and meet them. Don't wait until it's time to meet with them for fall registration. Get to know them now. They're an incredible resource. They can answer questions that you may have about your major and your degree plan that we don't know. Like Dr. Deagle said, they have all kinds of knowledge and inside advice, by virtue of being a full-time faculty member in that department. And we're also available to you as kind of for whatever you need. So if you're not sure where else to go, please come see us. Our office, career development, and the registrar, we're all right next door to each other in buildings. We send students back and forth. Student accounts is the other one that's right across the street. We send students to as well. So luckily we're all pretty close by. But I'm excited you all are here. We love transfer students. You are so much fun to work with because you're coming to Flagler after having an experience somewhere else, and we know that you really want to be here. And we love working with you. So please come by and see us, ask us for help. And for those of you who I'm advising, I will see you tomorrow morning for our advising session.
Dr. Deagle, may I add a few things? Because, when we do by Zoom, I'm looking at my notes and I left a few things out. May I have a few more minutes? May I?
Sure, of course.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. One thing that I failed to mention was that only the credits transfer, not the grades. So you will be starting with a new GPA here at Flagler. So you won't see your grades. It will just be transfer reflected on your transcript. When Dr. Deagle reminded me about graduation, that you'll be much closer to graduation than certainly our freshmen coming in much closer. So the grad app is on My Flagler. And when Ms. Dawson reminded me too that that's where you'll find all of the forms for us. In the registrar's office, we have made great strides in the forms being handled electronically, but a few are still paper, and we're working with IT on those. But if you go to you go to My Flagler, Academics Registrar, on our homepage right there are a form that we get many questions for that you might use. After the last day to add drop is a single class withdrawal form that's done electronically. Also on the right side of that page is the graduation application, and you would look at the St. Augustine campus application. Mrs. Rachel Nielsen, Assistant Registrar in our office, Rachel Nielsen, she will be reaching out to you as we get closer to that. But if you have come in with 75 hours, you will within this year be determining a grad date. So you can go ahead and look at that application. You can submit it now, but select the St. Augustine campus. If you have for your transfer credits and you want to discuss our evaluation with that, Mr. Adam Doyne, Assistant Registrar, has been the primary evaluator of our transcripts, be it credit from institutions or score reports. So Mr. Adam Doyne, you can reach him again at registrar@flagler.edu, or you can come in and see us. Now, of course, I have evaluated transcripts too, and I'm always here to help you. But Mr. Doyne and Mrs. Nielsen, they are readily available, and that is some of their primary responsibilities here. So another important point is, as in listening, classroom assignments may change. So if you have a face-to-face class, in fact, I am too, looking at my emails while we're sitting here, at least they're popping up, and I can see where some locations will change, either based on the enrollment that is changing. But keep in mind, with COVID-19, our classrooms, as you've heard, the capacity is very much reduced. So I can see that some changes will happen over the weekend. So I would encourage you to look the night before your classes, look and see if you are in a face-to-face class on campus, look to see where that class location will be. So again, waitlist were also spoken about with Ms. Dawson. And when you receive an invite for a waitlisted class, you have 24 hours to accept that invite to get that class added to your schedule. After that, you would have to re-add the class, and then you would go to the bottom of the wait list. So be on the lookout for your My Flagler email for an invite if you are waitlisted. I'll just share this too. Yesterday, I had to create reports for one of our largest departments on campus, because they were noticing that we had students who were waitlisted in all of their courses. And so they're putting a plan together to see how they can address that. So keep in mind, once the waitlist goes away, you can't sit in your schedule. And I know that Case will be reaching out or monitoring this too. You can't sit in your schedule and have all waitlisted courses, because they will disappear on the 14th. We will notify the students of the exact time that they will disappear. But again, I'm here now to field any questions, but thank you, Dr. Deagle, for letting me add that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I think transfers, we've got you guys pretty well organized, I think, I hope. Maybe one class waitlisted, but I think everyone has at least 4 classes on their schedule, which is awesome. I know Jill wants to touch back on Saints Connect and our co-curriculars. So Jill.
My coffee is empty. I think I need another one. Also, highly recommend the Kookaburra, great coffee shop downtown. They're not paying me, I promise, but maybe they should. So Ms. Lombardo at the all-student meeting mentioned Saints Connect. If you are wondering what is going on campus, what can I do for fun, how do I get involved, when does a club meet, that is your space for that. So we have so many events on campus, even right now with COVID. Many of the events are available virtually. In fact, I would say almost all of them have the ability to access them virtually, so you don't have to be on campus. But we also have a lot of events on campus. So things like SGA meetings are happening in person, but also virtual. A lot of our speakers, they may be talking in person, but then we'll also have, the ability to access it virtually. So we definitely want you to get involved, find your people. This is a great way to connect with people who share your interest. To incentivize this, we do require that students attend a certain number of events every semester. Typically, historically, this co-curricular requirement has required that students attend sort of academic type events, speakers, plays, concerts, career development speakers, those kinds of things. But we know that in this time of COVID, when we are in many ways separated from each other, it can be challenging to connect. And so any event you attend, any Flagler sanctioned event on Saints Connect provides co-curricular credit. You should aim, as most of you are transfer students, you're coming in with quite a few credits. 2 to 3 events per semester is what you should shoot for. That will keep you on track to have what you need done. If you go to more, awesome, that's great. If you have a semester when you really struggle to attend events, maybe you're doing an internship, maybe you're juggling caring for family members or friends right now, that's okay. You can catch up down the road. But even if there weren't a requirement that you engage on campus outside of the classroom, please do it anyway. I am shocked sometimes at how many things we have going on campus, even right now, even with COVID. So you can see all of these events on Saints Connect. There's also an app you can download. If you look for the Campus Groups app, you can download that. And the link to this, again, is on My Flagler. You can access that on the left-hand side. And there are just so many ways to stay involved, get engaged. And I just want to shout out something that Mary Rose mentioned in her presentation earlier, and that's next week is Diversity Week on campus. We have an incredibly diverse Flagler campus, a campus that we hope to continue to increase the diversity on our campus, and we want to celebrate this and also provide venues and places for students to engage in some challenging or dialogue around challenging issues. We have some incredible events on the schedule next week, including, and I'll preview something I'm very excited about, Joy Harjo, who is the current United States Poet Laureate, will be joining us for some presentations. So look for this on Saints Connect. Your professors will probably highlight some events. You'll see advertisements around campus. You'll also get a weekly email digest from Student Affairs that rounds up things happening on campus that week. So you pretty much can't miss it. So if you come to me and you're like, I don't know what's going on campus, I'm going to help you, but I'm also going to say, here's all the ways that you can find out what's going on. So again, thanks for letting me circle back, Dr. Deagle. I'm going to get another cup of coffee when we're done and hopefully get my brain moving a little better.
Yep, I'm also out of coffee. So I think we've covered just about everything. And I know we've kind of circled around a few times, but just for my folks that are on here for advising, I know I talked to a bunch of you yesterday. I will be lurking a little bit today, this afternoon. If you would like to email me questions, if you want me to send you a Zoom link real quick, I do ask that you check in for your classes first so you can actually see your schedule. So that might take a little bit. But if you want to set up something just in the next little bit, I will be around. Or next week, I know I also have a few of you on my calendar, so I'm pretty open-ended. I know it's really hard to have just like a group advising session for transfers because you have a lot of personal questions that we don't want to talk about in a group setting, and there's no one size fits all for transfers. Some are coming in with one semester, some are coming in with their AA. You're at different points in the transfer process, so I'll have different explanations. Like if you have your AA, you don't need gen ed, so it's going to be a different conversation than someone who's only done one semester. So let me know if you would like to connect. Definitely be reviewing your schedules if you've had new transfer credits come in. If you have not had a transcript sent saying that you had an AA awarded, do that. That makes a very big difference. When I'm looking at an advising worksheet and it says you haven't done gen ed and you're like, but I have an AA, make sure you take care of that. I know it gets lost sometimes with the holidays and things like that. So don't forget to do all of those things if you have not already done so. But I think we can open this up to Q&A. I know we tossed a lot of information at you this last little bit. So if you have questions, I believe you can type them into the question box and we will do our best to answer them.
So I haven't seen any coming in
Nope.
just yet, but we have been working to try to get all the contact information for the various offices that have been mentioned or any of the speakers within the chat. And so if you do have things that you'd like to chat about one-on-one, you're more than welcome to reach out that way.
Yeah. And I know Jill has her email up and I have mine up. So we'll be watching it all day, even if you don't think of something right away, you know, just as you do, send it along. We'll be happy to connect with you and just answer any questions you have going into the semester. But I think that is everything, unless anyone has anything to add. Okay, awesome. Well, welcome, and we're happy to have you and look forward to seeing you maybe one way or the other this next week. All right, take care.
Thank you all.
Bye.